Paula.
Rebecca. Formal writing. Writing formal can be very difficult. As you learn how to speak, in English you hear words and phrases in conversations and assume that it will be the same in writing. But it is not the same. Writing in a formal and professional way is to be neat and clear. Each topic needs to be introduced properly, elaborated and concluded. I have a list of the most important things.
Nej, förlåt.
Du måste börja om. Går det?
Men kan man inte bara sätta in den och sen klippa?
Vet du hur man klipper klipp? Alltså.
Kommer du ihåg vart du var någonstans?
Ja, jag är på listan där.
Ja. Nej, men det är väl ganska lätt att fundera ut, tror jag.
Okej, ja.
Ska vi köra eller vill du göra en ny?
Nej, men det är lugnt.
Okej.
Here's a list of the most important and basic rules of formal writing. First, it has to be First, it has to be a structured manner. You have to be clear and explicit and make sure the reader understands. Secondly, avoid personal pronouns, not including you in the text. A formal text should be written in a third-person perspective, and it has to be performed neutral. No personal opinions or interests brought up in the text. Thirdly, use transitions such as furthermore, consequently, additionally, and so on. Okay, additionally, and so on. Using transition words makes it easier for the reader to follow your points and ideas in the text. It helps making the paragraphs stick together in a coherent and structured way. No colloquial language. Make sure you do not write as you speak. You cannot write like you would write to a close friend or a family member. Avoid abbreviated words such as don't, doesn't, it's, well, you're, and so on. Stay on topic. Do not wander off. You need to know what you are presenting and you need to do it good. And clearly, no homonyms and spelling errors. And evidently, once you have mastered all of these ground rules, you will surely be a professional writer. Formal writer. Pretty good. A professional formal writer.
Yes. When writing an essay, it is important to use a formal language. Essays are often written in an independent manner, meaning that the text is not written for or to anyone specific. It is common not to use any personal pronouns in an essay. This makes the text look more formal and structured. An essay always begins with an introduction where the topic or the thesis is presented. After the introduction comes the body. In this part, one should present the arguments for the opinions eliminated in the essay. Not to forget that each argument should be supported by ideas or examples. The last part of an essay is the conclusion. The conclusion summarizes the given information and the arguments in the text and reproduces the taken conclusions. The most common way to write an essay is to start with the body, then writing the conclusion, and after that the introduction, and then the headline that should be interesting. Lastly, look through the text for grammatically incorrect sentences and informal expressions. Eliminate personal pronouns and make sure that you have written citation for any references.
A review. A review is a short summary, description or evaluation about something. It can be about books, movies, places, parties, or more. In a formal review, the formal basic rules apply. You still have to be neat and clear, avoid personal pronouns, and use transitions. Though you have to be subjective, you can no longer be neutral in a review, since it is your critical opinion about the subject. To be able to write the review, you have to be well informed about the subject, and you must be clear about it, so your criticism will be justified. You need to write the review. You need to write the review in a specific structure as well. These are the qualities a formal review should contain. An introduction, where you introduce the story about what you're planning to review and present a short background about it. The main body is where you write analyses, evaluations, and comments about the thing you are reviewing. You must explain your opinions and back them up with evidence, as it is a formal review, so you cannot only write what you think about the piece. In the conclusion, you then write a summary of your evaluations and conclusions. Explain specific reasons for why those are your opinions and add specific recommendations. And if you follow these instructions using the basic formal writing rules, you then have a professional formal review.
Yes. The standard format when writing an article is the same as when writing an essay. A coherent thesis has to be presented in the introduction, and in the body make the reader convinced of the thesis, and present arguments to strengthen your thesis. In the conclusion, repeat the thesis and conclude the text. The first thing when writing an article is to choose the subject. When that is done and information is gathered, it is important to think about the audience. To whom are you writing the article? The most effective way is to start with the body, and after that writing the conclusion and lastly the introduction. In the first paragraph of an article, that most often is written in extra bold style, the writer should answer following questions: who, what, when, where, and why. The first to notice when reading an article is the headline. Make sure that this is as strong as possible to catch the reader's interest. A headline should not be too long. And don't forget that formal writing does not have to be boring. Thank you.